Alrighty, so welcome back to my channel. This is Lisa Appia, certified career and resume strategist and the founder of We Apply. Today we're talking about how to build confidence in your career. And this is a really important topic to me because confidence basically changed my career as a whole, and it's changed many people's careers. And there have even been studies that have shown that people who are more confident earn more than those who are not. And I've experienced that in my career. Very early in my career, I worked hard. I produced results. I did what was necessary, and I often went above and beyond, but I didn't say anything. I was always quiet, and I would notice that people who were more vocal, people who were more confident were able to excel and move up in their careers quicker. And it's not that they were necessarily the brightest of people or they had something I didn't have and that's why they were able to do it, but they just believed in themselves. They believed that what they had to offer was valuable and that it was worth hearing them out. And so I realized that firstly, I have to believe in myself and have confidence in myself before I can convince somebody else that I'm deserving of that promotion, that I'm deserving of that raise. So I really had to do some work on myself if I wanted to excel in my career. I had to start changing the way that I taught. And that was a big thing about my mindset and how I perceived myself, because we basically teach people how we want them to act towards us. And so the energy that I was giving out was the energy of someone who didn't believe in themselves and who didn't believe that they could achieve much in their career, even though I was working very hard. And so that is the kind of energy that I was receiving in return, not being considered for promotions, not being considered as the person who can do that presentation or the person who can go to that high profile meeting to represent the team. And so some of the things that I did to be able to change my mindset is first believing that I could do it. I really had to start believing that I could do it and that I was worth it. And that took some time of me sitting down and reflecting on all that I have to offer and recognizing that it was worth something. It was valuable. Certain things that came naturally to me that I just took for granted didn't come naturally to other people. And so I had something unique to provide. Another thing that I did to begin to change my mindset is I stopped listening to naysayers. I had a lot of people around me at various times in life that would tell me that I couldn't do this or I couldn't do that. No, you can't be an entrepreneur. You're too quiet. You're too shy. Or, oh, you wouldn't be a good fit for this position. I remember one time a manager telling me, oh, it took me this number of years to get to that position, so it will take you longer. Just wait your turn. And all those things were basically people telling me no to things I knew I could do. Because they didn't know what I was capable of, they just saw me as who I was then and there. And so I had to do some work and really begin to shut out all those voices that weren't consistent with how I saw myself and who I knew I could be. The third thing I did was taking ownership of my accomplishments. I really took the time to write out my career story. This is an exercise that I encourage my clients to do. I encourage professionals to do generally, not only when you're looking for a job or when you're writing your resume, but on a regular basis. Take the time to reflect on your career and the things that you've accomplished. Keep a brag file or an accomplishment folder, whatever you want to call it, but keep track of the things that you've achieved. Sometimes I just sit back and go through my emails because, you know, when people send me emails, like a client sends me an email of something that went well, I save it in a certain folder. I go back to that folder and just read the folder and I'm like, wow, you know, I'm really making a difference. I'm really helping people in their lives. So it's the same thing for you. You may be working with clients, but you may be also working on various projects. People have told you you're doing exceptional work, or you've been able to achieve certain results for the organization in terms of saving them money, or you've been able to bring the organization to a certain level. So just take the time to really sit down and look back on certain things that you've achieved in your career. And wow, that is a major confidence boost when you realize that I did that, and I really did it, and I made the difference in other people's life. It means a lot. And so I encourage you to do the same. Take the time to sit down and reflect on your accomplishments. The other thing that I did is really developing strategies to help me stay true to who I was as an introvert. I wasn't trying to be somebody else. It's not because I saw other people moving up and doing certain things that I wanted to do what they were doing. A lot of times my values and the way that I thought and the way that I perceived the world was very different in terms of what I was seeing other people doing. So I wasn't that person that was going to put another person down to be able to move up in my career, which is quite common practice in the corporate world. And so I had to find ways to still achieve progress while staying true to myself, staying true to my introverted nature, but also staying true to my core values and what I believe as a person. And so to be able to do that, firstly, I had to know what it is that I believe in and really stick to what I believe in, and then make sure that I was walking in that integrity. I had to make sure that even if there was an opportunity ahead and that I knew I could do certain things to get it, that I wasn't cutting any corners. And if that meant staying back to be able to stay true to myself, then I did that. And I did have situations where I could have, found different ways to be able to move up, but I decided to stay where I was and stay true to myself and know that I'm doing something in truth as opposed to trying to cut corners to be able to move up in my career. And so that is something that was really important to me, staying true to myself. And I knew because of the person that I am a person of faith. And so I knew that irrespective of what things may look like on the outside, that it was still going to work out for my good. So with that in mind, being an introvert, there are certain strategies as well that I put in place to help me move up in my career. I have a video where I share 5 leadership tips for introverts, and I share some of these strategies that help me excel in my career as an introvert and also have helped some of my clients. I have a coaching program called the Notice to Promoted Career Accelerator. Most of the professionals in that course and coaching program are introverts, and many of them have implemented these strategies and have seen it work in their careers. So over time, as I began to do some of these things, my confidence increased, my self-awareness also increased, and opportunities also started coming my way. More and more opportunities were coming my way in terms of career advancement, in terms of promotions. And in the end, I was able to land 5 promotions in less than 8 years. And as a result of that, tripling my income. And so it is possible. You can do it irrespective of whatever industry you are in or what the circumstances around you may look like. It's all a matter of you building that confidence in yourself, knowing your worth, and really going for those opportunities that align with what you believe and what you have to offer. And if you're not seeing that in the organization that you're in now, start looking elsewhere. Maybe it's not in that department. Maybe it's not with that employer, but just by looking somewhere else, you'll be able to see that there are other opportunities out there. Something that I always tell myself is that if my environment is not changing, then I'm going to change my environment. So you don't have to stay stuck somewhere because you feel that you have to be loyal to somebody or that you feel like you owe someone something. At the end of the day, you have to look at your circumstances. We all have responsibilities, maybe family responsibilities or other obligations, just a responsibility to yourself to walk in who you want to be and what you want to do for your career and for your life. And if you're not seeing that where you are now, then maybe it's time to look elsewhere. And so with that in mind, if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, I encourage you to do so right now. I post videos every Thursday. I talk about leadership, I talk about LinkedIn, and I also share career strategies. And so I'll see you in the next video.